Right, watch out, welcome back. Okay, changing formats. Now, we're going to be changing the format of the channel itself, and also I'm going to be changing the format of the build itself. And the reason for doing that is hopefully to make it more engaging, more watchable, and more interesting for you, and more manageable for us. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about that at the end, because it's boring right now. It's not interesting. What is interesting is what we're going to do with that today. In what we have is a very long, full day on the build. Let's show what we're up to. Right, there we are. Okay, long day ahead of me now, and I want to get two things done today. The first thing is underneath there. I want to get that finished. I'm not going to bore you with how I'm going to do it. You're just going to see, I'll show you. I've got a cunning plan for that to make that look a whole lot better than it does right now. The other job, hopefully, if I've got time and I can get it all done, is to get all these little tiny pinholes filled, a quick sand over, and then get it into silver like the rest of the bike. Yes, indeed, that is the plan today, to try and get this thing, this tailpiece, into silver undercoat or base coat, so it's ready to look like the rest of the bodywork, and then I want to move on to something else. This tail has gone on long enough. I will be having to come back to it later anyway, once I get involved in the exhaust and whatnot, and I will talk to you about all that at the end, because as I said, new format changes. I have some cunning plans for this build to make it far more interesting, and it involves getting this wound up today. So in this video, by the end of today, this will be bolted on, ready to move on. Let's get on with it. Right, there we are, another messy day, there we go. All the low spots identified now, trying to get it really smooth, the shape's correct, well, the shape's how I wanted it, there is no such thing as correct. And it's looking good, symmetrical, everything's square, everything looks good, there's no lopsidedness to it anywhere, so I'm happy with that. And there are some little nicks and pinholes in it still, so what I'm going to do now is bop a coat of silver over that and let that dry, and that will tell me exactly where not only the pinholes are, but any little lumps and bumps I can just brush out as well to get it as good as possible. Going to be coming back to this later in the build to get the final paint, and there's no point in thrashing on it too hard now because I might be cutting holes in it for exhaust and whatnot in the future, so it doesn't have to be too perfect. Just want to get the shape right, like the rest of the bodywork, just into that silver. For now, that stuff underneath is still 39 degrees, so it's still warm. I'm not going to be able to grind that back yet. I'm going to grind that back flush along with this lip as well, so that is one flush face right across there. I think that makes sense, but I can't do it yet because if that isn't cured, it'll bung up the grinding paper and it will just be a mess and probably get super hot as well. So I'm going to wait till that cools, and in the meantime, get some silver over it. Bad influence, Mackie. Right, there we go. It is 8 PM right now. We came in the garage this morning at 8:30 AM, so 11 and a half hours on the bench. This has been singularly the longest day in the garage I've ever done, and I've absolutely enjoyed every single moment of it. It's been fantastic. This is a perfect example and a demonstration of what I said on Sunday, where we're going to make a different format change to the channel. We will be doing the same amount of progress, in fact more progress per video but less videos overall. And as I said Sunday, because the amount of time we spend on post-production, and that's editing, administration and so on, is absolutely killing us, and it's preventing us from getting in the garage to make video. That's the main point. So this, we think, is hopefully the right format. Penny's here right now, don't you think that, Pen?
Sure do.
Sure do. This is what we reckon is the right way forward. We are listening to what you say. Many of you saying this is going on too long, it's rubbing, sanding, rubbing, sanding. Yes, it is, and that is not particularly very interesting. I watch the videos out there that I like to watch, people that I follow. I watch the way they make progress, and I'm trying to just blend a little bit of what we do with that, so that hopefully we make this channel as interesting and as changing and progressing and moving forward for you as possible. We want to make this channel something that you commit to continue to watch into the future, and this is that as an example. So here we are today, got all of that completely done. This has got problems all over it. It's got pinholes and little imperfections and blemishes, and where I've rubbed down through bubbles, you've got a little crater. There's loads of it, but I'm simply going to get some stopper filler, just that it comes in a little tube, air dried stuff, fill them in, quick sand over, filler primer, the yellow stuff, get that nice and smooth, and then the final coat of silver. I wanted to do that today, but 11 and a half hours, I think I deserve a break. Now, as far as the rest of this is concerned, as I also alluded to, the other format change that we're going to make is I'm possibly going to postpone the fabrication of the underseat exhaust, only because if we go back to the days of the Bandit, the 1200 Bandit, that tail section I created, that was 40 videos, that back end of the Bandit rat bike, and this is going to turn into the same if I'm not careful. I don't want that, because I know that you're desperate to see this thing on the road, and I want to ride it. I said I want to ride it this summer, and I do. I'm determined to do that. So I think the right way to go is postpone the underseat exhaust build, bolt this dinky little thing on, which works perfectly well. This is all I ever need. I've already done that. Bolt that on straight and make that okay. Then take it for MOT, get it tested. I can put all the bodywork on as it is, possibly blow it over in matte black just to make it look tidy, and then in the new year or in the winter I can take it off the road. We can start the underseat build once it's on the road, and that gives me a chance to iron out all the little teething problems you get with a project bike that's been on the bench for 2.5 years. It truly has. So I want to get this on the road. I want to ride it. I want to find out if there's any problems for all the time it's been stood still. Once I know that it's all okay and it's a good bike and I've made a good job of it, then I can focus and relax and make that cool underseat exhaust exiting out the side, which I really am determined to do. It's a bucket list thing. I'm going to make it happen. I just think we need to move aside for a second, get this sorted, because we've got some other really, really exciting things to come. So that's it for now. Anything else, Ben?
Let's get editing.
Let's get editing. 11 and a half hours in the garage, probably 10 or 12 hours editing. Wish me luck. Thank you for watching. Take it easy, ride safe. See you next time.